Usually more snow against the next week.
It's similar to that. Yeah, like, yeah.
Mr. Weber. Over that house.
No, didn't exactly that.
Yes, it is.
I can't be.
Yeah.
Put him on the spot.
Right. No, I don't think he was in house, but no, but.
No bueno. Yeah.
You try.
Yeah.
Say.
Let me see, let me find it. So I think it did, it's right by the silver, you can see another car and. No, I know that, I know.
I don't know where it's in.
You didn't find this over well. All these.
Yeah. I just look at it, but I looked at it.
How do we? Was it like, it's the right class? Months later, whatever.
This is, oh, they've got, yeah, we're going to get those. This is.
Right.
It doesn't.
It's a little daunting, right? He was not without really knowing anything by his finding.
Well, 6:29, we got a minute to go.
Oh, I still didn't.
Jean thought she was going to get here on time.
So you put up the speed on yourself.
I like what the resolution said about the first, about, not the support. First, it's something that you want. And the general.
So. Good. Keep it on, so how about?
His name.
Ray is not joining us? Interesting. Yeah, sometimes this weekend I was like.
Better?
For the second, I don't say. She kind of knocked over. I'm like, oh. Yeah, it can be just right, say, two shorts is out. That's why I get the job. So. Anyways. Yeah.
That's their meeting.
It's in time, like.
I'm not aware of anything that I'll get it from him. Very good.
Whatever.
Mitch.
And coffee's a bit
Going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I wish to announce that 48-hour notice is required under the Open Public Meetings Act, was emailed to the Asbury Park Press, the Co-Star, and the New Co-Star on December the 19th of 2024. That a copy has been placed on the bulletin board in the borough office and that a copy has been filed with the municipal clerk. Please be advised, public attendance for meetings through Zoom is a courtesy only. If for any reason Zoom fails or is disconnected, the in-person meeting will continue without interruption and action can and will be taken, providing there is an in-person council quorum. Mr. Noble? Here. Ms. Greenblatt?
Here.
Mr. Nowicki?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Mayor Gubatose?
Here. Perfect timing, Council President.
Thank you.
Okay, we'd like to start our evening on a fun note. We have a presentation to make and I see we have a few folks in the audience here to support one of the stars of the evening, Jeannie Moretto. And before we make this presentation, I want to comment, I think Jeannie is just like this bastion of volunteerism. I mean, we Bradley Beach very much value our volunteers. We can always use more. Volunteers are such a integral part of our community and they do so much. And Jeannie, you're just a great example of a person who's done so much for Bradley Beach already. So with that said, I have a proclamation to make and we're going to take some pictures afterwards. And I'm going to ask first the council to join us and then I'm going to ask, well, council can join me now, but I'm also going to ask Jeannie's friends and supporters to join for pictures. So first of all, Jeannie, please.
Going?
Yeah, come on down, guys.
Okay.
Please come on over. The meeting now, oh, by the way, Jeannie, now I've had the pleasure of serving the past year with Jeannie on the library board. And the library board members, many of whom are here, asked me to make this same presentation to her last night at the library meeting because they wanted to have a special opportunity to thank her. So this is actually the second time I've heard presentation, but we could probably use it a number of more times because we are very appreciative of what you've done. So got the council here. Let me watch everybody. The Borough of Bradley Beach proclamation honoring Jeannie Moretto of the Library Board. Whereas Jeannie Moretto has given many years of dedicated service to the Bradley Beach Free Public Library as a trustee since 2008. And whereas Jeannie Moretto provided dedicated leadership as president from May 2022 to December 2025, offering energy and commitment that strengthened the library. And whereas, because of Jeannie Moretto's efforts, our great little library has continued to grow and flourish as a cherished community resource. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Bradley extends its deepest gratitude to Jeannie Moretto for exceptional service and leadership dated this 15th day of December, 2025. And Jeannie, we have a second proclamation. The reason there are two. One of these, and some of your members are figuring this out, but one of these proclamations is going to be for your home, wherever you care to display it. One is going to be mounted in the library as a reminder to all visitors of Jeannie's unique service to the library. So with that said, let's get a group shot here.
Sure. I'm just that. You gotta get last first.
Get in there, get around this. Anybody else?
Closer. In the back.
Action. All good?
I don't know what to say except, thank you. I'm not leaving the library. I'm still gonna be a member of the Friends. You can't get rid of me.
That's good.
And the library has always been a part of my life. As a little girl, my friends and I would walk to the library. And at the time, Long Branch didn't have the children's sections. It was just the back of it. And then we would go as little girls and giggle. That's all we would do. The lady would, girls, she couldn't stop. And to have, yes, you believe. And the more she said that, the more we giggled. But I love the library. So it's my second home. So thank you. The only word I can say is flabbergasted. That tells you how old I am, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know it, yeah.
Now, you can leave if you like, 'cause even though we have an exciting meeting ahead of us. Now, don't go too far, council, because there's one other proclamation we didn't have on the draft agenda. And Erica, you have it? And it's for Mr. John Weber.
Are you bringing back down?
I had to go back down there for this one.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back.
Okay.
John, Erica was thinking about jumping out.
Yeah, I was gonna like dress up as elf and jump out, you know.
Change the sense and then.
Let me get my reading glasses back.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, most of you know John Weber. He's been a council person here in Valley this is completing his 9th year. It's John's fault that I'm in politics. It's John's fault that I'm in politics at all. He asked me to run them 6 years ago. And he's probably regretted that day ever since, but thanks to John, I'm here, and I think, John, you've left a bit of a legacy. Because others of us are here effectively because of you, so I'm gonna read over a proclamation. Then we're gonna give you 10 or 15 minutes to give your comments, or you can do that later. The Borough of Bradley Beach, a proclamation honoring Councilman John Weber. Whereas Mr. John Weber has faithfully served his fellow citizens as a councilman for 9 years, from 2017 through 2025. And whereas Mr. Weber has performed of his own volition many endeavors to benefit his community and has been an active volunteer on several boards and committees dedicated to the betterment of life for the residents of the borough. And whereas Mr. Weber has given generously of his time and effort as a member of the Borough Council with diligence and effectiveness, and has made a constructive contribution to his associates and to the community. And whereas Mr. Weber has served in a critical leadership role as a councilman and former council president who has led numerous environmental initiatives for the betterment of Bradley Beach, the state of New Jersey, and perhaps the world. And whereas Mr. Weber has served as a liaison and advisor to critical borough commissions, including the Shade Tree Commission, the Fletcher Lake Commission, and the Environmental Commission. And whereas Mr. Weber has performed his duties on council with character and dignity, emphasis on character, he will be both missed, both professionally and as a friend. And whereas Mr. Weber will retire from his position as councilman on December 31st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved, on behalf of the mayor and council and employees of the Borough of Bradley Beach, we wish to they extend their appreciation for his service to the borough and wish him well in his future endeavors. Dated the 16th day of December, 2025.
And in addition,
Oh, you got it. Good time.
we had the same.
Oh, nothing.
There's a little bit.
Thank you.
Hold on, John.
Oh, thank you.
Wait,
Yeah. Come back in here.
Council President.
Come back in here. What are you doing, just?
I have to sign something.
Oh. Now look at you.
1, 2. Beautiful.
All right.
Hey, Matt,
Did
can
you
I ask
just sign?
one more thing?
Oh, jeez.
Can I come over here
That was your meeting? Me too?
and just, yeah, everybody.
Hey,
Everybody.
this one home with the flu.
You get nowhere?
Where is she? Where's Nora? I mean, I know she's there, but where is she looking?
And her, oh, I'm.
We-
And
Hi, Nora.
James.
1, 2, with Nora. Awesome.
Thank you.
And that was good.
Nothing embarrassing about that, huh?
Did I miss it?
Changing all
There's
this.
one for gift you.
You've got to be kidding me.
It's the old map of Bradley
Aw.
Beach and it has the church next to you on the map and it's signed by everyone on the back.
Oh, thank you.
Well, so that's the little church in the woods on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Proof that it was
Put
there,
that,
right?
Yes.
one-handed, can you give me a one-handed hug?
Good
So
job.
John, would you,
In a minute.
you gotta make a few comments?
I was gonna save it to the end, but hey, thanks. I want to save it to the end.
You want to?
Um,
Yeah.
what do we do with this?
I don't know, this is, we'll put it on the side for later.
Okay, all good.
You're gonna miss this, I can tell.
Oh, I
I think this sign John's property.
Okay, you got it.
This one? Okay, I'll leave that there. Don't let me forget that.
No.
So that was fun. Thank you all for joining us for this two proclamations, two very important recognitions of individuals who have contributed so much to Bradley Beach. Item 6 on the agenda are workshops. We have none. Item 7 on the agenda is approval of minutes, and I'll make a motion that we approve the November 25, 2025 special council meeting minutes.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Kubatozzi?
Yes. Item 8 is public comments and questions pertaining to items specifically on the agenda only. There's a 5-minute limit and one single instance to talk. Are there public comments? Please raise your hand. About agenda items, Mr. Cohen.
Thomas J. Colan, 612 Third Avenue. There's a couple things on here tonight in terms of resolutions, Mayor, which I wanted to address. One is resolution 2025-357. I'm so happy that, you know, some of the proceeds, the net proceeds from the church sale will be going to our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Because, you know, it was ignored by Mayor Engelstadt and Mayor Fox, and no funds went into that account. So we are at a deficit, and it's important that, you know, we follow the rules and guidelines of the affordable housing requirements of the state of New Jersey. And this will really help, and it'll pick up some of the slack that was left by previous administration. So I do, it'll help us, you know, our round 3 obligation, we didn't get anything done. And now in round 4, hopefully we'll be able to use these funds to advance our situation in the eyes of the state. And then I also wanted to thank you for resolution 2025-356. I don't know if the public is really aware of the usurping of home rule, which is taking place from Trenton. So this resolution opposing S4736 is really important. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's going to take away home rule from zoning for religious organizations and for nonprofits. So I just, in my mind, use the church property as an example if we didn't purchase it. According to this, it's 40 units an acre. That's a half-acre parcel. That would be 20 units, 40 feet high, with minimal parking restrictions. So the land use board would have no say, the council would have no say. If this passes, this is just horrific abuse by Trenton. So I would advise everyone to contact Senator Gopal, contact Assemblywomen Donlin and Peter Paul, and let them know you're going to be watching their vote, because this takes away the rights that we in Bradley Beach, and this is why, you know, we have a Facebook page called Preserving Bradley Beach, because we want to preserve the little village that we live in. This would take away that right. And if you look at other religious sites in town, they could all be developed the same way. And so I appreciate you doing this, and the land use board will have a similar resolution. It's a model resolution presented by the League of Municipalities, which is also opposing this legislation from Trenton. So I appreciate you all stepping up and doing this. Affordable housing is important, but to take away home rule, I mean, I'm an affordable housing advocate, but I'm also a proponent of home rule, and I want to protect it. So there is a balance. This balance is not it. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sure, please.
Okay, I just want to add one comment. It's actually, the church property is 0.55 acres, so there would be 22 units.
Oh,
So
for the correction.
you're welcome.
All right, other comments, questions? Yes.
Good evening, Linda Duffy, 312 Brindley Avenue. I wanted to address 2025-348, approval of council business meetings and why we are making them at 5:30 now instead of 6:30. I don't know the answer.
I mean, we had a workshop on it.
I know, but we didn't have any clarification of why. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Because actually, I did do some research and 57% of our working population in this town drive to work. They drive to work 30 minutes away. They cannot possibly, unless they work in a hospital 7 to 3, come to a meeting. You're kind of excluding the residents from being able to have their opinion and their voice at the podium, which is more powerful than an email to Erica. So
I mean, first of all, we haven't voted on this, but we've discussed all kinds of times. So we've discussed 4:30, 4 o'clock even. Current meetings obviously are 6:30, so we discussed keeping it the same point. There are pros and cons, including pros and cons impacting folks who can join our meetings. So I think at this point, we've agreed individually through lengthy discussions, including those involving our clerk, who a lot of this impacts her. And we've come to a point of recommending 5:30, and we'll again, we have to vote on this, but we'll probably agree to at least try 5:30. And we've already said, if that's not working for the public, we will revisit it. If it's working great and people want to move it earlier, we can consider revisiting it as well. The problem with 6:30 that most of us are struggle with is when we have late meetings. And there are times where we have long meetings. And when you're getting out, not just the council and the public, but our employees, the people manning Zoom and our clerk, when they're here till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's just challenging for everybody involved. So we wanted to try, what we've all discussed individually is trying 1 hour earlier, seeing how that works.
it also impacts people eating dinner. So, and the other thing is, I'm just curious, since we had all the closings on the church property, what is the net proceeds for us? What does the town?
Roughly-
200,000? You probably could have done more, I think, as far as affordable housing, but that's my opinion,
Oh.
putting more in.
Mhm.
So what's left over?
Roughly net proceeds after we pay off the related debt and everything expenditures that we've had on the church, roughly $2.7 million.
Excellent. And where do we put that?
It flows through, it flows through surplus, the financial accounting of it. Once it flows through surplus, once all the bookkeeping is done, as you're aware, we're talking about making a resolution tonight that will commit 200,000 of that to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Do you feel that 200,000 is a substantial amount? I kind of think out of all of that, we could have put more there.
We could have, we talked about, well, we've had residents request that we put all of the proceeds, $4.8 million in. These are resident assets, right? The dollars that we're talking about. We had others say put in 20% of the net, which would be $540,000. We've had others say 10%. I mean, it's random. The whole discussion is random.
Mhm.
I think, speaking for myself, I'll let others weigh in, because we would have talked about this later, but we can address it now. I wanted to make a very strong contribution. I think $200,000, almost $250,000, is a very strong contribution, indicating our commitment to affordable housing. Keeping in mind, we're voluntarily committing resident dollars to this. So there could be somebody who steps up here after you that says,
You can negative, but I'm not,
no, I'm just saying, it was a question of, we
You're
commit $5 million or zero or something in between. And speaking for myself, I wanted us to make it, we, the council, to make a strong commitment to affordable housing. I've talked to our planner, Jennifer Beam, who's right now in the throes of negotiating, if you will, our 10-year plan. And I said to her, Jen, would it be helpful if we made a contribution in terms of helpful in the negotiations with affordable housing? And she said, yes. I said, with a magnitude of the amount of 200,000, not everybody has
that much money.
just sold $4.5 million or so of property. So some other municipality contributing 200,000 is viewed as, oh my gosh, how did you find that money? We're very fortunate in that we had this one-time windfall of property sales. So she was thrilled at the idea of 200,000. She said it would go a long way to help her in her discussions with the affordable housing. And she said, could we do it now? I had also asked, could we do it next year? And she said it'd be even better if we could do it now. So to your point, there was a lot of thinking that went into it. We can always put in more, Linda, but once we put it in,
You can't take it
we
out.
can't take it out.
I realize that. So did we ever pay back the sewer? When we borrowed money from the sewer, didn't we borrow money from the sewer at one time? Or the beach? Trust me.
We kind of do that every year.
Well, Did we ever pay them back?
Under prior administrations, you're allowed to take it out without paying it back. I think the magnitude was like 50 grand. I personally was against doing that. I know that prior administrations did that a couple times, but there was no obligation to pay it back. You're allowed to transfer some funds. I forget the formula, but it's like 5%.
I was just curious. All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Steve.
Yeah, Steve Roswick, 100 Ocean Avenue. This is my comment directed to John. I want to thank you for your service. We remember that about 10 years ago, I showed up at your house and asked you to run for council, and I was successful. And, we appreciate your efforts and your time and your service to the community. So thank you very much.
For the record, Steve wouldn't take no for an answer.
All right, thank you.
So Steve, it's probably because of you then, that most of us are up here today.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Other comments or questions? Anyone on Zoom with a question or comment? Okay, we'll close the public session and move to item number 9 on the agenda, which are ordinances. We do have an ordinance for adoption, none for introduction. And that is our bond ordinance. We described this a couple weeks ago. These are dollars earmarked. We have to increase the amount of our original ordinance from 400,000 to 900,000, or I'm sorry, 500,000 to 900, an increase of 400. And that's because the bids this is all related to the sewer pump station on Ocean Ave. We don't expect to spend 900,000. However, the bids did come in around, the low bid was 630,000, give or take. And we had only bonded for 500. So now we have to rebid, and the bids are out now. We're collecting them soon. Erica, we're going to identify the successful bidder when?
December 23rd.
December 23rd. So in anticipation of that, we began this amendment of our previous bond ordinance and we're putting a buffer in there. We don't have to borrow this money, but we want to be able to borrow it to the extent it's needed. So we've amended it to be $900,000. And with that said, I'm going to open it up to the public. Well, first of all, time out. Any quick council comments before we open it to the public? Okay, so I'll make a motion
Thank you.
that we officially open this up to the public for discussion about the bond ordinance amendment.
Second,
Mr. Noble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Comments or questions from the public? Okay, seeing none in the room, are there any on Zoom? Okay, seeing none on Zoom, I will make a motion that we close public comment and we vote to adopt bond ordinance 2025-39.
Second,
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Item 10 on the agenda is communications. There are none. Item 11, resolutions. There are 3 consent agenda resolutions. Are there any comments or questions that any of these you want to vote out separately? Council?
No.
All right, I will make a motion that we approve consent agenda resolutions 2025 344 through 2025 346.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, moving to individual resolutions. The first one is 2025-347, establishing beach locker fees for 2026. And I'll give folks a quick overview here. we historically, Bradley Beach historically, long before any of us have been up here, has had a kind of a two-tier structure. An initial, first time you're renting a locker, you pay a higher dollar amount. Over the years, it's been 400 or 300, and now it currently 2025, that initial locker rental fee is $600. The subsequent years, the renewal fee is $200. And this exercise typically is, should we bump 600 to 620, and should we bump 200 to 210, or account for inflation, account for the cost of maintaining the lockers and increases in those costs. And I've at least chatted one-on-one with each of my council colleagues here as to whether or not there might be value in moving to an annual rental fee, period, one number. So if we're inclined to do this, we would identify a single dollar amount that would more or less instead of calling it a renewal fee, it would just be an annual rental fee. And it would cover, based on, we have 550 lockers, we're limited to that from a storage capacity. Talked about that in earlier meetings. So we'll never expand, Bradley Beach will never expand beyond the 550. So it's pretty easy to do the math. If annually, one of the challenges we have with the current structure, if we have 10 new people come in and, that get new lockers, they all pay $600. We may not build any new lockers in that year. Those people who pay $600, they get an old locker, which is the way of the world. On the other hand, there could be a year where we have no new people and we have 20 new lockers, because lockers break and get damaged and need repair. And once again, even though the borough incurs that cost of new lockers, which do run honestly around $700 a locker box now, even though we incur that cost because those lockers break down, we have no new money coming in. So from a budgetary standpoint, there's no alignment. Every year we're guessing how many new lockers will we have, how many people will pay, in this case, 600 versus how many renewals will pay 200. So I did approach everybody and say, look, I feel like it would make more sense to just, kind of rip the Band-Aid off, if you will, and break away from this long history, 20+ year history of having two different tiers of lockers. So the magic number, in my opinion, if you assume a 6-year average lifespan of a locker, which is approximately what DPW shared with me, that within 6 years, lockers break down. Some go 7 or 8, some break down in 3 or 4, depending on climate and whatever. But that's roughly 16.7%. So using 15% of our current fee structure, 15% of new lockers would be $600. 85%, the remaining that would just be renewal revenue collected. 85% of 200, the current renewal fees, that weights out to be $260. I've done that math. So what I suggested, and I'd like us now to discuss, I've suggested to the council that we move to a flat fee structure, one annual rental fee. And I think the number should be $250, a little bit less than that math I just walked you through. The idea is there would be no inflationary adjustment. Folks that are renewing now at 250 at 200 would move to 250. Any folks coming in now and in the future would be coming in at 250 as well. It makes more sense from a budgetary standpoint. It makes more sense from an alignment of, when you pay 600, you don't get a brand new box. Now, when you pay you don't pay 600 and you just get whatever boxes are available. So I like this idea, but we can certainly talk about, bumping the existing fees as well, but let's open it up to discussion. What do you guys think? John, I left you a voicemail. We didn't have a chance to talk. No.
I got back to you about that. We've crunched all these numbers and seems to make sense. Yeah, we're not making any new lockers. I mean, until we not making new ones unless they're replacing old ones. So I think that does make sense on one level, but you're the numbers guy and that's why you're up here. So trusting you crunched all the numbers and sure.
So this program began somewhere around 2005 or something. I'm not sure, but I recall that I was one of the first people getting a locker. So the structure made sense then. because we came from no lockers, so they had to build the lockers, and that's kind of how they structured it. It wasn't like a bond, it was a matter of a lump sum fee that you pay toward the building of the lockers. And now that we're looking to make some changes going forward with the whole program that we're doing to implement in 2027, maybe now is the right time to simplify the process, because certainly one fee is just easier for accounting purposes. It's easier for financial fiscal year purposes. It's more efficient. It might be a better option. And then, each year we evaluate the fees, and we can actually, starting for 2026, determine all of the costs, and then the fees, and we want to kind of break even. That's the intention. So we can make changes for the following year. If we find that that's too high or that's too low, we can make changes to that.
To your point, from a budgeting standpoint, we never know how many new renters we're gonna have in a year, so the budgeting is a little, you miss a little here, you make up a little there. It will be easier to just estimate our total cost and divide it by the 550 lockers if we have all of them equally priced, budget wise.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of turnover in lockers, because our waiting list was frozen, and so people who had lockers have had it for quite some time. However, if there was an individual who just came in, say, last year and paid their $600 versus somebody who got in back in 2010, say, and paid their, 500, 400, whatever it was at that time, would there be consideration to reimburse people some portion of that $600? If they only got into the program last year and paid 600, that doesn't seem equitable necessarily, that as somebody who may have paid $400 10 years ago. And so I think that's something we need to look at,
I believe it would only be a handful of people, because like you said, that the list wasn't moving, you weren't moving up, nobody was moving up, and everybody I hear said, I'm on that list for 7 years. So, yeah, I think it seems like this is the year of you're fixing things, and this is another thing that needs to be fixed, and I think this is a better approach for the future.
I think this pricing structure does make more sense. If we were starting with a whiteboard, I don't see the need to, again, the $600 that we have in place today doesn't give you a brand new locker. It just gives you a locker that could be 5 years old. And Paul, to your point, I'm not sure. I mean, we'd be talking about some sort of an increase anyway over the existing 200 renewal. I'd be very open to looking at how many people have come in and gave us recently $600 or $500 or whatever 3 years ago it might have been. And if we can come up with a formulaic way to do that, I personally, just speaking for myself, would have no problem figuring out a formula. But I don't want to be held hostage to this structure because of figuring out some transition issues.
I would agree. I think moving to a one fee is the right thing to do. But I'm just thinking there may be that, unicorn out there of one or two people who just came into the program in the last year that's really not affordable.
Yeah. And we're going to have a similar refund policy issue that we have to figure out when we move to our new policy of preferential treatment for Bradley Beach residents. So when folks who have been renting that are not current residents are no longer able to rent here, we're going to have to figure out some sort of a refund policy, at least for relatively new folks who have come in.
It seems like it would be almost like the same situation.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I know we've talked individually, but if you all agree, then I'd like to propose that we move to an annual rental fee. No, we get rid of the terms, initial and renewal, and just move to an annual rental fee for 2026 of $250, which is about a 4 or 5% targeted reduction. So if it's anything, we're slightly bringing down the aggregate budgeted revenue by about 4%. But I think that just, otherwise we'd be bumping the 250 4%. I thought to 260. I just think 250 is a nice number to start with. I'll make a motion that we set an annual fee that is consistent across all for $250 for 2026.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble? Ms.
yes.
Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. All right, those math things sometimes take longer, so that was.
So the resolution just needs to be modified,
If they follow them.
Yeah, so Erica, yeah, the wording, where right now it has a two-tier, if we just said, instead of new rentals, if we just said annual rentals of lockers, $250, I think that's all we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, item 2025-348, approval of council business meeting dates for 2026. I'll make a motion that we approve the council business meeting dates for 2026.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
I did abstain because I'm not gonna be here. But I'll vote yes. I'll vote yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. And by the way, you know, we addressed this in the public comments, but just for the record, we have meeting dates that are carefully manicured to make sure hopefully we're not conflicting with existing holidays, Jewish holidays and so forth. And as Linda brought up earlier, we are going to try to start meetings at 5:30 in the new year and see how that works. And if there's a lot of public outcry, you know, we will certainly consider changing that again, but we're trying to just create greater efficiencies for everybody involved, including residents who can get stuck here late into the evening. So we're moving it up 1 hour. Should have discussed that beforehand, but we covered it with a little. 2025-349 is the awarding of ATM machines. Our current contract is 6,000. The new proposal, and it was the only one we received, is 6,500. So not quite a 10% increase, but 6,500 is the new proposal, and I make a motion that we approve 2025-349.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-350 is a individual resolution related to the Ride in Monmouth, formerly SCAT. And you know, this is set up that we were in a position to approve it if we wanted to. However, what we've heard from our seniors is that this is not a particularly valuable program. No one is either eligible to use it due to income restrictions or cares to use it. We checked and we only have one individual apparently in town that does use it. So I'm going to make a motion to withdraw individual resolution 2025-350 and therefore not extend our contract next year.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you a question first? Are you reasonably confident that we can find out who that one person is?
I'm not reasonably confident. I don't know if we can.
Do you think we can then find out who?
We could ask Mom,
Like from the county, like ask the county?
Yeah, we can ask the county.
Yeah.
I mean, just to not leave that person hanging.
You know, if we can, yeah.
And the plan is also to come up with an alternative to that.
If
Potentially.
there is, the plan right now is to not continue to spend roughly $10,000 a year for one person to take a bus once a month. But to the extent we can identify that person or find a better program that is more as a pay-as-you-go type of thing, you know, we definitely would be open to that. We want to increase services, especially to the seniors, but this is not proving to be a valuable service.
Right, and I'm a proponent of a service like this if it's utilized, but as I think I've said before, I'm not sure how well communicated it is, that people within the community are fully aware that it exists. And I wasn't aware that there was an economic income element to it as well. But, and I think if we do look to provide some sort of a service that would mirror this, if we can also make sure that we broadcast it to the community.
That was originally the plan. Now we don't know what that other service is, but this service, the senior leadership team led by Gene Leahy this morning told us this was a waste of our money.
Okay.
So our starting point is to discontinue this particular service where we could always reestablish this service if there was good cause to do so, or we can identify a new service. We definitely want to provide, you know, valuable and transportation in particular. This particular service does not seem to be, you know, meeting our needs. So with that said, I make a motion that we withdraw 2025-350, which would have extended our contract.
Second,
Mr. Noble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-351 is authorizing an agreement with Avon by the Sea to share goose control expenses for Sylvan Lake. We already have this agreement in place, so this is just extending it for another year. Any comments or questions beyond what we've already covered in discussions?
Seems very successful.
I hear nothing but good
I think
things.
they're great, both Lakes Fletcher as well as Sullivan. It's critical that we have these services. Because the alternative is, go out everywhere. That's just not sustainable.
And we share 50-50 with Avon. This is for Sylvan Lake, so we share
Yes.
50-50 with Avon. So I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-351.
Second,
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-352 is authorizing the Shore Athletic Club to conduct their 5K race on Saturday, December 27th, a couple days after the Christmas day, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And my understanding is there are no Bradley Beach resources
That's correct.
required.
Mhm.
So any comments or questions? I'll make a motion then we approve 2025-352.
Second,
Mr. Noble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-353, a resolution opposing the closure or relocation of the Monmouth Medical Center Hospital in Long Branch. This resolution was presented to us for our consideration to vote. And it's largely focused on the fact that Monmouth Medical Center would be relocated out of Long Branch. And if you haven't had a chance, you could certainly read through this to understand the concerns that raises. From a tax base for Long Branch, but from a medical services standpoint available to the community and taxing of those services it could put on other communities. So the council is here to vote on whether or not we want to support a resolution that opposes the closure of Monmouth Medical Center. Any comments or questions before we vote?
Yeah, I'm just saying that what I've read about this is that it's not necessarily gonna close. It would have a change of services, more limited services. And the new facility is being built out in Tinton Falls, 6 miles from that location. And so from a geographic perspective, somebody like in Deal maybe would now not go to Long Branch, Tinton Falls maybe further, and they would now come to to Jersey Shore. So that could put a burden theoretically, additional burden into our hospital locally. But it's interesting that Congressman Pallone came out opposed to this whatsoever. And then there's other legislation in the House right now suggesting that not to close it, but to maintain some critical services in that hospital. So I think that they're trying to strike a balance of somehow, and I think a resolution could in fact help, at least from our perspective.
Encourage towards a balance.
Yes.
Other comments or questions? Okay, I will make a motion that we approve 2025-353 resolution opposing the closure or relocation of Monmouth Medical Center.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, let me find this name. I don't have it handy. You have the,
Yeah.
we are basically, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so resolution
354.
2025-354 Land Use Board appointment update. A number of months ago, we lost our Environmental Commission chair. And she was a member of our Land Use Board. And we now have identified Daniel Bagley as a member of the Environmental Commission to serve on the Land Use Board. So this is an authorization of me appointing Mr. Bagley to our Land Use Board on behalf of the Environmental Commission. So I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2025-354.
Second,
And thank you.
Mr. Noble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-355, extending all 2025 special parking permits until February 28, 2026. Many of you may recall that a meeting or so ago, we had already introduced an ordinance that was going to make some substantial changes to our special permit parking. That's the handicapped spaces around town. A number of you here tonight, I know, spoke out, raising concerns about that. We tabled the adoption. We did not adopt. We do still want to revisit the current ordinance. So this resolution is basically extending the permission that has already been granted to people in place for 2025, extending that. Normally it would expire at 12/31. It's extending it through the end of February. So the council has another couple of months to determine if we want to make any adjustments at all to our special permit parking. So any comments or questions on that? All right, I will make a motion that we approve 2025-355.
Second.
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-356. This is opposing bill marked S-4736 and advocating for home rule and local control of planning and zoning decisions. And again, this resolution was provided, the language, the template was provided to us by the League of Municipalities. Our attorney, Greg Cannon, who's not with us tonight, his partner is, but he helped us draft this. Many municipalities are raising the same concerns with this bill that Mr. Cohen addressed in his comments. Largely, this bill would usurp home rule. Like we have a land use board and we look at properties in town and we collectively and through the land use board, we have really strong procedures in place and policies and guidelines we try to follow to determine where we should create new opportunities for affordable housing. This would effectively give a lot of that authority to certain not-for-profits and take it away from local municipalities. So our resolution tonight is saying that we oppose the loss of home rule, that we think Bradley Beach should still maintain control over where we build affordable housing. So any comments or questions?
Yeah, I'd like to add that there is no assembly companion to this bill. So it's a bad idea. I definitely agree that we should do this resolution. The league's against it. That's a very a good indication, but there's no assembly companion. I reached out to our assembly representatives and that hopefully that's an indication of where they're at. In Trenton, there's no shortage of bad ideas that come from the New Jersey Senate, if you've listened to the news lately. And maybe this is one of them, but the fact that there's nothing on the assembly side doesn't mean it's not possible in the next month, because the legislative session goes for a few days short of a month from now. And it would be possible, but watch it like a hawk. But it's good news that there's no assembly version.
Other comments?
Well said. Yeah, I just want to thank you for adding this to the agenda. This was brought to my attention during the League of Municipalities. And as the league said, this is egregious assault on a municipal autonomy. And we have a density issue already to usurp our land use, as our land use chairman mentioned, is a problem. And it would be more dense and there's no parking allocations. They can actually go another height and they would not need a variance. There would be no use variance that would just be permitted. So I just want to thank the council for standing united in the defense of Bradley Beach responsible development and democratic process. And I also want to commend us that we've done the most for affordable housing in the history of Bradley Beach this year. Because of those development fees, we've collected money for our Affordable Housing Trust Fund that's never been done before. In addition, when we're contributing from the sale of 319 Lorraine is also going to that. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. I will then make a motion that we approve 2025-356, which is opposing Senate Bill 4736 and advocating for home rule.
Second.
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-357, directing that $200,000 in proceeds from the sale of 319 Lorraine Avenue be deposited into the borough's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Obviously, I had a chance, thanks to Linda's question earlier, as to try to explain how the $200,000 number was derived. I think we all feel it was important to make a strong contribution. Now, could we have made more? Yes. Could we have made less? Yes, of a contribution. But I think $200,000, as I mentioned, our planner is very excited about that. She thinks that'll go a long way to help her cause, as she represents Bradley Beach in round 4 of the affordable housing negotiations. This is all part of finalizing our 10-year plan. This is not limiting us. We can certainly make additional contributions in the future. This is taxpayer money, though, and therefore we don't want to put more into the trust than is necessary. At the time that we need more, we certainly can revisit that. But I think it's a very strong sign that we are very supportive of the affordable housing in general and in building funds in our trust. Before I ask us to vote on this, I'll add one more comment, and that is that I did check with our community development folks to say, well, how much we just opened our trust. It was already established. We were not collecting fees, development fees, until February 1st of this year. And I honestly was not aware of how much we had collected. And I found out today that year to date, we've collected approximately $60,000 in our trust. And the way these deposits come in, half of it's up front and half at the beginning of construction, and then the other half is paid at the end of construction. So most of those projects are in the middle. They have not paid the second half of their fees. 2 of them are complete. So I'm told that in our first year of having the trust open, we've basically locked into about over $100,000, maybe $110,000 or so in our first year. So with the $110,000 we will have earned once those projects complete, and this $200,000 at the end of year 1, we'll have close to $300,000 in the trust. So with that said, I'm going to make a motion that we approve 2025-357 to direct 200,000 of proceeds into our trust.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-358, authorizing the transfer of appropriations in the fiscal year 2025 budget. Anyone who's looked at this, there's an awful lot of numbers moving from the right side to the left side, vice versa. This is all put together by our CFO. And the idea is, in the world of municipal budgeting, you don't want to spend more than you've appropriated in one bucket and have underspent relative to an appropriation in another bucket. So she's basically moving numbers around to make sure that our budget is compliant and we don't have to file emergency relief requests. Very standard process that occurs every year. For what it's worth, I've looked at the numbers. Everything I see looks reasonable, but she did, the detail, and she's not here to answer questions. But does anyone have any questions?
Well, in the big picture, it looks like a lot of the salary compensation and more social security, et cetera. So is that because of the union differential? Is that a big part of
A
this?
big chunk, yes, a big chunk. It's a very complicated, mechanism that we, the borough of Bradley Beach, have and other municipalities have. But our financial systems are programmed. It's not that we sit down and say, hey, for this particular transaction, allocate 10% to the beach and 20% to the sewer utility. It's all pre-programmed. So in our case, we had a really large hit above and beyond what the budget system expected when we paid close to 600, probably around 600,000 of retro payments when we settled that union contract. So there's like an overload on the system as that new money came in that hadn't been, some of it had been budgeted for, but not all of it. And so it effectively over allocated salaries in certain areas. On the other hand, there were areas that we had appropriations set up that we didn't max out in. So she's moving those dollars around to make sure we're not violating, we're not overspending our appropriated amounts. So That's where we stand.
Thank you.
Everyone comfortable? Again, my CFO is going to spend more time with us, our CFO. Is going to spend more time with us, with me end of this year, but most importantly into next year as we finalize 2026's budget. So with that said, I will make a motion that we approve 2025-358, authorizing these transfer of appropriations in the 2025 budget.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. 2025-359, we have a pretty extensive bill list for December 16th. Comments or questions on the bill list?
All set.
I had submitted a few questions and my questions were answered. I don't know if it's worthwhile to share my questions.
Sure.
So on page 21 of the bills list, I was looking at the New Jersey Natural Gas, the fee of 2,129 and change. And that was damage that occurred during the demolition of 319 Lorraine, that was that gas smell,
No,
right?
right.
So apparently.
Charged us? We smell gas and they charge us to come.
No, apparently the gas line was impacted during the demolition.
Yes.
Right, and there was some confusion as to which parcel, and the demolition company, I guess, did not know there was a gas line there. So that was that question. I was also, kind of overwhelmed with 3 pages of CME charges because we have so many infrastructure projects going on concurrently. And I asked if we can get a better accounting system so we can really take a look at an Excel grid and see what is charged to which of the projects we're working on, so we get a handle of where we're going with this.
Yeah, I do attend meetings occasionally, most of them, on Tuesday mornings with our BA and the engineer and go through a lot of this. And we brought that up, matter of fact, today. A couple of things. There's so much work going on in this town right now that we have to make sure we have a good handle on the schedules as well as making sure where they're at in their expenditures. And but what they explained today was they are going to get that to us, but they are within budget, and there has been no contract yet that has been encroached upon. So they are their services are percent complete, so are compliant with the dollars spent to date. So
Right,
so I'd like to see that detail as well. So they're supposed to be furnishing that to us.
right. I mean, when we're given the bills list, just for the public to know, we don't know the ins and outs of all of the details. So very often I'll question things just so I have an understanding. Because, I'm assuming that, the store is being minded properly, but I'm making the approval or not, on the bills list, so. Always questions.
Okay, no, but, and thank you for sharing out, just for the public's benefit to know that, you're keeping an eye on that.
Right,
If there are no extra discussion points, then I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-359, the bill list for December 16, 2025.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
yes,
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. 2025-360, approval to apply for a fiscal year 2026 legislative grant for recreation support. This is actually just finalizing the $100,000 grant that I actually announced a couple months ago that Senator Gopal and Margie Donlin and Luann Peterpaul secured for us, unofficially earmarked for hopefully for the expansion of pickleball this next year. So this is just paperwork that we need to process to make sure we receive that grant in 2026. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, I'll make a motion. We approve 2025-360.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
yes,
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. Item 12 on the agenda, announcements. There are none. Item 13A, mayor, well, actually, we should do administrative report first, I would think, the BA report. Do you have a business administrator report? Please lead. I'm gonna reverse order here.
So I'd like to update the mayor, council, and the public on some of our projects that are underway. So I asked our Borough engineer, Ben Matlack, to put together, just a short summary of everything. So, the Fifth Avenue Phase One sewer project is now complete. The concrete work is complete, and the resurfacing of the road will be done sometime in March. Main Street, the design for the new Main Street is 70% complete. Preliminary plans will be submitted to outside agencies for review by the end of this month. And construction is tentatively anticipated in October of 2026. Fifth Avenue and Park Place Phase Two, this is for sewers. The design is complete and the plans were submitted to NJDEP for funding through the I-Bank, which is now under review. I-Bank funding will be added to existing New Jersey Department of Transportation grants to fund the project. Anticipated construction in the spring pending I-Bank approval. Ocean Park Avenue, design is 75% complete. Plans were submitted to DEP for funding through the I-Bank also. The Department of Transportation grant was awarded in the amount of $278,000 for paving work. The I-Bank and NJDOT grants will be combined to fund the project. Anticipated construction in the spring pending I-Bank approval, spring of 2026. The rec center construction is 85% complete. The site is winterized and will be completed when temperatures allow, probably sometime in April. Remaining work is the sport court color coding, striping, and installing benches and picnic tables. The promenade extension design is 40% complete. Preliminary permit plans will be submitted to DEP by the end of this month, by end of December. The Sylvan Lake bulkhead plans were submitted to DEP on October 16th. The permit approval is anticipated sometime in February. The project will be bid and awarded prior to the October 11th, 2026 deadline. April 11th, 2026 deadline. And construction is anticipated to be in September of 2026. The Sylvan Lake outflow control structure, an application was submitted to DEP on October 30th of this year. Plans and technical specs are under review by DEP to incorporate the replacement of the outflow structure into the outflow pipe contract. An agreement in place between DEP, Avon by the Sea, and Bradley Beach to replace the outlet structure, which is anticipated to take place in January, pending DE approval. And lastly, the restroom building at 54 Ocean Avenue project is advertised for rebid now, with the bid opening anticipated for December 23rd. So next week. And that's an update on all the projects, as Councilman Nowicki mentioned before. And I can tell you that having an engineer on the council and an engineer that's willing to work with me and educate me is a great benefit for this administration.
You're here, and I'm gonna later propose that the rest of us get engineering degrees. It's not too late.
Miss Greenblatt?
Mayor, I just wanted to ask, can you forward a copy of that to us? So we got.
This is proprietary. Yes, ma'am, I will do it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Business Administrator.
Yes, Mr.
Let us now move to mayor and council reports, and I will start with our council president, Jane DeNoble.
Okay, mine's gonna be very brief because the Board of Ed is having their meeting this evening, so I'll report on that next meeting. Tourism had a meeting this morning. They're gearing up for the Jazz Festival in February, so please mark your calendars. It'll start Tuesday, February 2nd, all the week through Saturday, February 7th. Also, the Shade Tree Commission had their meeting December 3rd. They had two applications. 303 2nd Avenue will be removing one tree and planting one tree. In addition, 104 Brindley Avenue had an application to remove 3 trees, and they will be planting 3 as well as a replacement. And their current account is $17,000. And that completes my report. Thank you.
That was very quick and concise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Nowicki.
Yes, first I'd like to invite up Chief Ron Minsky to report on the fire. He's here in the audience, so.
We have our chief of the fire department, I should say. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Ron Minsky, Fire Chief, Bradley Beach. The reason I want to come give my report in person today is because it's the end of the year. I wanted to thank the mayor and council for all of the support that you've given us throughout 2025. Particularly Councilman Weber, who served as our liaison prior to Councilman Nowicki. In the 21 years I've been a volunteer firefighter and first responder in this town, I don't think I've ever seen this much collective support from the 5 members sitting up at the dais as we've received this year. So I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank everybody also here at the table. You know, we can't do our job without all of you here, from the borough clerk, borough administrator, attorney, particularly Chief Arnold, who makes sure that every one of our scenes is safe when our people arrive to answer the call. That being said, I want to give you our fire department report for the month ending in November. We had 10 day calls, 9 night calls for a total of 19. They consisted of 1 smoke condition, 11 fire alarms, 5 carbon monoxide calls, 1 cover assignment into Asbury Park, and 1 natural gas leak. We had 3 work details and community events for the month. We had the Santa in the park, the tree lighting. We also had the bonfire on the beach, and we conducted our annual Scott Pack mask fit test for all of our members. We conducted 2 trainings during the month. One was our live burn at the Fire Academy, and we also ran a training for our cadet program. We also welcomed 2 new firefighters into the department during November, and 1 of them is enrolled to enter the Fire Academy in January, and the other one will be attending the Fire Academy next fall. Also, I'd like to announce our annual Santa Run on December 23rd. Anybody who wishes to drop off gifts for the Santa Run, the boxes will be available at Borough Hall and the police station. Again, I just want to extend my gratitude for everything you've done for us this year. You all understand how challenging our job is, and just want to tell you how valuable your support was this year. Thank you.
And Chief,
Yeah.
before you leave, I just want to say, the fire company, but includes the department, collaborated so much with the borough in providing us some additional parking on your, leased property. 10 additional spaces, which freed up parking space for the public. So we really appreciate the collaboration we've had. You spearheaded the drive to spend your own funding, not existing taxpayer money, to purchase not a new engine, but a very nicely conditioned engine. So $70,000-$80,000. $80,000 that came from your own funding. You did not ask the borough to help fund that. And again, I want to make sure our taxpayers understand that when they're making donations to our fire department, you guys are using those funds to help the borough as well. So thank you for all of your efforts.
More good news on that front. The same fire department that we bought that blue engine from offered to sell us a significant amount of surplus hose that they had. Great. Brian Crean, our engine foreman, who's in the back there, he and I will be going back out to Pennsylvania this coming Saturday to pick up some hose that we bought with donation money as well. So,
and hopefully your trip back will be
Yeah.
less.
yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot less eventful.
You won't need to save a driver of a burning vehicle as we did last time. And then finally, I just wanted to say thank you for not stealing Santa when we had the tree lighting. The fire company got a call with Santa Claus basically on their truck. And you could have taken off with Santa, but you managed to get him over to
We
Bradley Park.
worked it all out.
So, yes, so thank you for that as well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, chief. I just want to offer to Chief Arnold, if you want to read your police report, there's a theme going on here. Sure, yeah, come on up. I have a hard copy here for you. Save my voice.
Well, I don't have my readers.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Here in my office, would you like? it?
Oh, Mitch has some here.
That's 14 fonts.
We all have.
Oh, yeah. They look great.
Those are good ones. All right, well, first I'd like to piggyback on Chief Miskey's words. John's been assigned your picture there. It's been an honor working with you. Thank you for all the support with the police department. And again, I'll repeat what he said. The council, the mayor, this has been the best year so far. So appreciate all your support for the police department. Really appreciate it. All right, so our police report. December 2nd, William Gordon Jr. of Toms River, New Jersey, was arrested and charged with possession of crack cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and several motor vehicle offenses as a result of a motor vehicle stop by Patrolman Daniel Crow and Patrolman Ian Ambrose. We also used Wall Township's K-9 unit to assist in the investigation. December 4th, Philip Alessandro of Neptune City and Mark Salato of River Edge, New Jersey, were both arrested and charged with being in possession of drug paraphernalia. Alessandro and Salato were stopped by Patrolman Daniel Crow and found to be in possession of drug paraphernalia during the motor vehicle stop. Patrolman Anthony Badalamenti, Patrolwoman Tranny assisted with the arrest. December 8th, Christopher Roberts of Bradley Beach was arrested and charged with 1 count of theft. Patrolman Sean Johnson and Patrolman Edwin Hernandez handled the investigation and the arrest. On December 10th, Miles Headley of Bradley Beach and Armir Caruso were both arrested on December 8th, stemming from the same incident. Headley was found to be a fugitive from justice from the state of Georgia and was also in possession of drug paraphernalia. He was charged as a fugitive from justice and later transported to the Monmouth County Jail. Caruso was found to have an active warrant from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. He was arrested for contempt of court and transported to the Monmouth County Jail. Sergeant Michael Tardio handled the investigation and made the arrests. December 11th, Gregory Patterson of Asbury Park was arrested and charged with possession of cocaine and several motor vehicle violations. Patrolman Anthony Badalamenti made the arrest during motor vehicle stop with Pat Peterson. Sergeant Kevin Gale assisted with the arrest. And lastly, between November 23rd, 2025 and December 15th, Bradley Beach Police Department also investigated 7 motor vehicle accidents and responded to several additional calls for service. That'll complete my report.
Thank you, Chief. And thanks for all that you do, Mayor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chief, while you're standing there, I think we all want to thank you. I'm gonna lead, but we all want to thank you for the character and the strength of leadership that you've given to our police department. It wasn't that long ago, we kind of all got a little rattled by some of the challenges the department faced, and you've been wonderful to work with. My first year as mayor, and again, it's strength of character, strength of leadership that's really appreciated. So thank you for
It's
everything.
been a great relationship. Appreciate you.
And on top of that, thank you for writing 20 tickets yourself. 30.
And I'll report on first aid. They're not here with us this evening. For the operational period ending December 16th, the squad responded to 9 day calls, 4 night calls for a total of 13 calls. 11 were for medical, 2 for fire, and 1 NVA. The squad congratulates Kyle Hagerman on successfully passing the New Jersey Department of Health's EMT course and wish him luck as he prepares for his National Registry certification. Congratulations also go out to Ariella Minsky, Leah Kern, Ashley Navarin, and Brian Crean on the successful completion of the American Red Cross Medical Responder and Basic Life Support course. The following members recertified their American Red Cross Emergency Medical Responder and Basic Life Support course: Ron Minsky, Jennifer Pierce, and Joseph Walsh. On behalf of the membership and the officers of the squad, we would like to wish you all a very happy holiday and a safe and prosperous new year. The squad requested no mutual aid for this operational period. The squad fulfilled 100% of their assignments for this operational period. And we are still looking forward, here's the advertisement, for volunteers for first aid squad. So, free training for all individuals. You can go to the website and apply. And then just very quickly on the Sylvan Lake Commission, our meeting is tomorrow at 7 o'clock here. And there'll be an update on all different projects. So if you'd like to come on out, weather the cold, and we'll see you at the commission meeting tomorrow.
Thank you, Paul. Councilwoman Greenblatt.
Great, thank you, Mayor. The Fletcher Lake Commission met November 13th. The fall cleanup at the lake generated 16 bags of trash, thanks to all the participants. Fletcher Lake cleanups will be regularly scheduled ahead for both spring and fall. Bradley Beach and Neptune will be creating a shared billing agreement for goose remediation services and make for a more efficient payment process for our vendor. The next commission meeting is scheduled for January 15th at 6 p.m. in this council chamber. The rec committee met Monday, December 8th. Just some ongoing activities. Mahjong Open Play runs every Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. at the Biazzi Center, but there's no Mahjong on Friday, December 26th because of the Christmas holiday. The senior club enjoyed a wonderful holiday lunch on December 11th at Uva's. Senior Game Time Tuesdays runs the first and third Tuesday of each month. Bring your own game and join friends at the Biazzi Center for fun and community fellowship. The Glitter and Glue Crew meets every Tuesday and Thursday morning from 11:30 to 12 p.m. It's geared for ages 2 to 5. And for the holidays, the Bradley Beach Grinch will be on hand for family holiday portraits December 20th, noon to 2 p.m. at the Neptune City Community Center. All Bradley Beach residents are welcome to participate. It's $5 per portrait. This is a walk-in event, no pre-registration required. As mentioned by both our BA and Councilman Nowicki, construction continues at the rec site with the completion of paver work. The playground and all new surfaces are complete with court striping plan for the end of winter. There is still limited public access to the facility. A grand reopening will take place in early spring. The rec committee's next meeting will be Monday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. The Arts Council met Monday, December 1st, and yesterday, December 15th. Thanks to Agudath Hakim for the Shabbat project, an opportunity for a musical performance by Arts Council member Gwen Rosenblatt this past November. It was a beautiful and well-attended event. The Arts Council is in the process of reorganizing its membership and making plans for an exciting year ahead. Anyone with an arts background or interest is welcome to reach out to the Arts Council for volunteer consideration. You can go to the Arts Council website and reach out to them. The Arts Council will next meet on Monday, December 29th, 10:30 a.m. at the Biazzi Center. Public is always welcome. And this is the third night of Hanukkah, and I just want to wish everyone who celebrates a very happy Hanukkah.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I saved the best for last.
Aren't you giving your report?
I thought about doing it, but I'm gonna close with a couple comments, but.
Okay.
But Mr. John Weber, your final council meeting after 9 years.
I have a lot to say here, and I want to apologize for, I kind of was thrown off guard with all the gifts and stuff. I'm like, wait, I'm gonna do it at the end. I thought I'd be sitting up here, so sorry I didn't say thank you or anything then, but so there will be a load of thank yous, but I have to start with my family. Of course, my wife and kids have been nothing but supportive and tolerant of all this, and tolerant really is the operative word here. You know, when I started this, when I first ran, I had a 5-year-old and I had a 7-year-old. And plus our house was under construction. We had no working kitchen, and I'm running for office, and we were couch surfing for part of that fall, just the way the construction projects go. But I guess I made it onto the council. You know, as far as my kids, I'd say they turned out great. I'm really proud of them, probably because they spent more time with their mother, because I was busy doing all this council stuff. So it's a good thing, and can't thank my wife enough for that. Even tonight, Bridget was here, but now she's at a Board of Ed meeting. That's where she's at now. But again, I can't thank them enough for all their support, all these years. So for all of you, I want you to know that I read every word. Every ordinance, every resolution, every contract, every document, I read every word. Erica probably could.
I can verify
Yes. I think it's what you all expect and it's what you deserve. Now, understanding it all the first time and, remembering it all that's another story. But honestly, if I didn't understand something, especially, in my first term, I would ask questions, and boy, I asked a lot of questions. And in my first term, asking a lot of questions was looked at kind of unfavorably. So, so much so that some people decided to level some completely untrue and baseless accusations in the form of a lawsuit, hopefully to get rid of me, because I was the guy that was asking a lot of questions. And I have to talk about this now because, who cares now? But the general public never really got the full story on this. When these accusations were leveled, the town took the completely appropriate action of hiring an attorney from outside the town. They had no connection to the town. They investigated this. And you know what that investigation found? That nothing happened. And it was all put in this report, and the public never saw the light. The public never saw that report because it was a personnel issue. It never saw the light of the day. And so it's just, I feel like saying that now, it was investigated, nothing happened, nothing illegal, nothing. Yet there was still a lawsuit and it, cost the borough money. And that's the kind of thing that just makes me shake my head out about all this. But on balance, of course, it's been really great. But then the same thing happens to a different councilman a few years later. And that's, sort of like, geez, and when are we gonna learn? Anyway, there were some things I didn't like about my first term. So I put together a team in 2019 and ran, and we won. All of us won, all four of us won. So thank you to the people of Bradley Beach for that, seeing through certain things. And as I like to say, in the beginning of 2020, we had 2 good months, 2.5 good months. There's some staff changes, not because anybody was fired, because I think some people knew that there was going to be 4 of us up here asking questions. And, so you have a brand new CFO and a brand new borough administrator, and the
Brand new clerk.
Huh?
Brand new
You were new to the clerk job. You didn't, but okay, new clerk. So lots of new.
Clerk.
And that's what we faced March of 2020 with. I honestly, I think the day that everything shut down was like David Brown's second day on the job. Like, that was crazy. So we had to learn how to run the government and conduct our business in the shutdown environment, pretty much like everybody else in the country. We got through it. I was actually the council president that year. It was the first year for Zoom meetings. The only thing I did as council president was surprise Mayor Gary Engelstadt at his last meeting and give him a plaque. I popped out of that door there. I was hiding in that room. He didn't know it. Because Gary would sit here alone and run the meeting, and we were all on Zoom. Anyway, so, I'm happy that the nature of being council president has changed. More is asked of the council president and more is delivered by the council president. So that was a good positive change. A couple meetings ago, Gary Engelstadt, speaking to him, said some pretty nice things about me here. Presumably because he couldn't be here tonight and it's a tough night and it's also freezing cold out. Gary and I didn't always see things the same way, and maybe I was a little bit hard on him sometimes, I would say. But in the following years, when he was no longer mayor, I found myself a little bit nostalgic for Gary Engelstadt. So it's good to see him around town, and it's good to see that he is still contributing in his ways to the town. It's really good to see. So back in 2020, in the COVID year, our current mayor, and you're the one I'm going to single out here. Because it will be here all night if I talk nice stuff about all of you. But this guy was a new councilman in 2020, and he was the hardest working councilman, and he was also getting the most done. So I said, "You're gonna run for mayor," and he did. And we know that didn't work out in 2020. But seeing you in the job now, Mr. Mayor, I know that I bet on the right horse. I was right. The voters happen to be wrong on that one, but I was right. You were the right guy for the job. So you're proving it now. Every day. And just what people are saying is real tonight at this meeting is kind of a testament to that. I want to speak a little bit about this council and the government here in Bradley Beach. I go to a fair number of town meetings for my job, and usually they're little small towns along the shore. And the amount of information given at other town meetings is nowhere near what Bradley Beach provides. So this is like really good news for everybody. I know not everybody thinks it's this way, but truly, my perspective from seeing all these other towns, Bradley Beach meetings are by far and away more detailed than in other towns I've seen. More detail on the bills list, there's more details on the agenda. I mean, some towns, the agenda is just like, it's just one page. It's just really short. And I even had a reason to look back at old bill lists a few months ago. I was looking at old bill lists, and we even provide way more detail on the bills list now than back then. But even what we provided back then is more than some towns give. I'm telling you, some towns just like they put a number on a resolution, and that's like they vote on it, and that's it. It's kind of crazy. So be thankful that your government is providing a good amount of transparency and information, but do not let them backslide on any of this. Okay, that's your job. One thing that has surprised me about the job is the way I feel about the police. I never really thought about it before sitting up here, but I quickly realized that there's a good chance if you're dealing with the police, there's a good chance that it's the worst day of your life. Not because you got caught for doing something wrong, but either like you crashed your car or your spouse just had like a heart attack or a medical emergency. A huge part of their job is meeting people, often for the very first time, on the worst day of their life. And I think they do a great job with what they do. I'm glad that they are now all allowed to get to know us, because that's been really great. I've really enjoyed that this last year. And my hat is off to those on the force who spoke out, who acted out, and which led to big changes in this town that have been really, really important. Of course, the same goes for fire and first aid folks. They are likely showing up on the worst day of your life. But the big difference, a very profound difference, is that they are volunteers. I've spent a good part of my career working with volunteers, and to have the longevity that you have for some of the folks on either squad, it's extraordinary. It really is. And the fact that you're bringing in new people still, and we just heard about, I think half a dozen of them tonight. That is really, really remarkable. So keep it going, folks. Yes, and everybody in this room and everybody in this town, we should continue to do whatever we can to help our fire and first aid, however we can. I want to thank the staff. And you're like one of the only ones here. I guess Michelle maybe can hear this, but they're really great, and I think they're in a really great place now. Once they stopped being told that the council was the problem, I think they started liking us. Like that, and it's feeling mutual. You guys are great. So I just don't think I have thanked the staff enough over these last 9 years. So I appreciate all the support that people in this room, if they're here now or not, but people have shown a lot of support. And I appreciate the attention that you have given to your own government. This is what democracy looks like. It's people showing up, and they show up in Bradley Beach. They show up a lot. I used to say, like, we have 35 people here if there's nothing controversial on the agenda. And sometimes they look at me like, really? What? 35 people? So, and then of course it grew from there once we got into the controversy. I have a quick to-do list for the mayor, the incoming mayor and council. So Mitch, you're included in this. It's simple. Don't worry, you don't have to write this down, but it's move the bonfire. 4th Avenue Beach is too small. Go to one of the big wide beaches. We're gonna close the gaps in the dunes. Dunes are great, they protect the town, but dunes with 13 separate 50-foot wide gaps, it's kind of giving us less protection. We're gonna close them up. There's gonna be a nice walk over to get up over them. Some of them are gonna have the ADA switchbacks. Some of them are gonna have vehicular, crossovers so you can drive over. But we're gonna close those gaps in the dunes. So, and you all are gonna help. Okay, you're laughing. And finally, this is a hard one. This room and this dais. Okay, God forbid somebody in a wheelchair gets elected to this office, or even worse, somebody gets elected and then they have a horrible accident or something. What are we gonna do about this? I don't have the answers. And we got smart people up here. I don't know how you fit all that in this room, but something's got to be done, and I think you are the team to do it. So that's my little to-do list there. A couple of things I'm proud of. I'm proud of the logo change that we just finally exacted. Fun fact about that: the very first time I was running for office, I knocked on somebody's door in Newark, and after I gave them my spiel, I'd be like, is there anything that you think should be different in this town, or would you like, you know, besides parking, because I just knew that was coming. This person said, you know, the marketing of the town, it's kind of weird, it's kind of all over the place, and I was like, yeah, you know, you're right, and they kind of opened up my eyes to that, and yeah, see, I worked on it for 9 years, because it kind of, other things took precedence. And but the opportunity arose, and we worked on it this year. It was really just a great committee. I just coordinated the meetings. The hard part was getting everybody together. They did all the hard work. I'm also proud of the sharing shed, another thing that's just this year, but it's like a community-based waste reduction effort. I kind of love the idea. And I'm actually proud of the way we have conducted ourselves up here. This crew and crews before them, I'm proud we stuck together and we kept some bad things from happening in this town. That definitely happened. A little bit of advice on politics in general. Not everybody likes everybody. Okay, it's just human nature, right? You like some people, you don't like other people, like that's just the way life is. But I will say, do not let other people enlist you in their dislike of another person just because, you know, because you're their friend. No, I don't like that person. Form your own opinion, get to know people. You know, it's a small town. We can't afford to be any other way. Like, you know, don't be a jerk in real life or online, especially online, because there's a really good chance you're going to stand next to that some person online at the bakery, or just, you know, sit next to them in a restaurant. So, you know, don't be a jerk, be nice. I'm looking forward to my next role as chair of the Environmental Commission. I think that's how I started. I was that before I started this. So I think I'm just going back to that, which is kind of nice, full circle. And of course, I'm not going anywhere. So I will see you all around town. I probably forgot about 15 different things to say, but thanks again, everybody. It was a great last meeting. Thank you for the gifts. I really was unexpected and at a loss for words because I had all this ready to go. So I really appreciate those. I'm going to treasure that map and this thing. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave. Hey, thank you, Councilman. I'm gonna make a couple of quick comments and get it to public comment, but number one, just so everybody's aware, Amy Hall, who's for maybe 3 months now been officially our Director of Communications, is well on her way to redesigning our website. She showed me a mock-up of it today. To me personally, my opinion, it looked great. Still working on content. There's a long way to go, but with just a couple months under her belt as a full-time communications director, she's making great strides. So just give everyone a heads up that that's on the horizon. 2 on my list, the weather's been crazy, really bad. Anybody reading anything on Facebook has seen criticisms and comments and some applause to DPW for the great job they did getting snow moved around in our small town with no space and cars that don't park alternate side of the street as they should. I referenced this earlier, but Chief Arnold himself was out issuing tickets for cars that had not moved. And I thought, last I had heard, it was 20. He told me moments ago it was up to 30 that he personally issued. On top of that, people recognized him and said, Chief, what are you doing out here writing tickets? But this is Bradley Beach, you know, it's a relatively small town. We get our chief of police out writing parking tickets. Someone on Facebook asked, you know, can we post an official number? And we can, but last I heard, just for the record, we were over, Chief, last I heard, we were over 150 tickets issued. Is that still a reasonable number?
Right about on the dot.
About 150 tickets issued for alternate side of street parking. And I was told by our code enforcement officer that he's issued 19 violations for uncleared driveways, just in case anyone's wondering about that.
Sidewalks.
Uncleared sidewalks, sorry, yes. And apparently, because it's freezing out and there are still some sidewalks he hasn't gotten to yet, that number may increase tomorrow as he continues evaluating folks who have not yet cleared their sidewalks. But that weather also impacted the tree lighting, but we pulled that off. We had to delay the lighting of the first day for Hanukkah a day. But we did have that menorah lighting. It was terribly cold that day and we still had a wonderful turnout. I love that the entire community supported both the Christmas tree lighting and then A few days later, the menorah lighting. So just wonderful events, I think, happening in Bradley Beach. I wanted to mention that, and I see three folks in the room that served on our Charter Study Commission. Number one, thank you guys for the work you did in that regard. During that time frame, as we were talking about whether or not we should change the form of government, I think you all universally identified that there were guardrails that this form of government needed to consider. I have just recently asked Mr. Cohen to actually lead the charge, working with you, his colleagues from the from the Charter Study Commission, to bring to the council your recommendations. And TJ, with you, I think leading that charge, I know we'll get it done quickly. Recommendations that the council can then consider for actually creating additional guardrails for this form of government going forward in Bradley Beach. Mr. Weber, I want to make my own little comments about you. Number one, as I said earlier, John is responsible for me now sitting here, but for me being in public at all. And I think in turn, successors, other folks who are up here, either directly through me or through you, are now here as a result of you. So people say politics is a thankless job. I can tell you it is not. You do get your share of abuse, no question, but it's not a thankless job. And in fact, it's created a great friendship for me. So I want to thank you for the friendship that came out of my foray into politics. You were a coach and a mentor. I'm a lot older than you, but I knew nothing about politics. So John even told me how the proper way to knock on doors. Knock boldly and firmly and just 2 times. Don't, I mean, right down to how to campaign. But so much more, John, and I really do appreciate it. So old dogs can be taught new tricks, and I do appreciate it. And then, so your service for 9 years to this community is amazing to me. And I hope our friendship continues many years beyond that. And then finally, I just want to say to everybody, this is our last meeting of the year. I want to say very happy and healthy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, every holiday that is on the calendar. Please enjoy it. Please maintain your health. Be safe. Share time with your loved ones. Have a wonderful New Year celebration. And I look forward to year 2 for most folks on this council, John with you the exception, and Mr. Karp sitting in front of me, joining us up here come January 1. So happy holidays to all and happy New Year. Now, with that said, I will open it up to public comment. Is there public comment?
That'd be great. It's the end of the year.
Right.
And we're gonna be talking about the new year. Brian Crane, 512 Lorraine Avenue, Apartment 1, Fire Department member, and also EMS active member. Mr. Mayor and Council, thank you for this opportunity. I also appreciate the opening comments that you made, Mr. Mayor, on the importance of volunteering. I'm here today to make the mayor, you and your council aware that on January 1st, in partnership with the First Aid Department, the Bradley Beach Fire Department and First Aid Departments continue to look for dedicated neighbors to join our ranks in 2026. And fellow residents in surrounding communities are also available for membership. This is your chance to the members, to the public listening, to gain life-saving skills, serve your community, and make a real difference. Those interested in becoming a member of either the Bradley Beach Fire Department or Bradley Beach First Aid Squad, you are invited to attend an informative lunch and learn session on January 1st, 2026, that's Thursday, between the hours of 2 and 4. We will be serving lunch at the Bradley Beach Fire Department Banquet Hall at 815 Main Street. What you will get from this event, this informative lunch and learn, is full membership details, training requirements, member benefits, facility tours, and most importantly, powerful testimonies from our current members. We do request that RSVP. Information about this event can be found through our support at the borough on at their website. Our partner, our friendship at the public library, this information has been posted. Also, our partner, we're associate members of the BBCA. Ms. Paula Gavin has assisted us in advertising and our electronic sign board that you see on Main Street. We ask you to do RSVP to this event because we are providing lunch. Well, thank you for the opportunity and again, for you recognizing the importance of volunteerism in the community. Of course, you're all welcome to join us if you're in town that afternoon. Come meet some of the newer members. We continue to recruit. I'm a member of the Recruitment and Retention Committee in the fire department. And it would be nice if you had the opportunity to swing by and say hello to, of course, our longstanding members who put many years, decades of service, but also some of our newer members. And of course, some of our prospective members who come to the informative lunch and learn. January 1st to the 4th. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other comments in the room, questions, show of hands? Yes, I'm sorry, what's the name? Tia? Tia, are you available?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just had one question. When you were discussing resolution 2025-347, I heard Councilwoman DeNoble speaking to someone on the council, and she mentioned that they weren't moving on the beach locker wait list. And may I ask for her to confirm who she was speaking to and whether anyone on the council is actually on the beach locker waiting list?
Say your address.
I'm sorry, 147 Cookman Ocean Grove.
Yeah, you were, I think you were talking about Paul.
Yeah,
Yes,
Paul's on
yeah,
the list and he
I'm
has-
on the
Yeah.
waiting list.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm number 35 on Evergreen.
For years, right? How many
Yeah,
years?
for two,
now?
well,
2 years?
yeah, for 2 years.
Okay.
So you recognize that you were on, you're on currently on the waiting list, and so you voted in favor of ejecting numerous non-residents from their lockers. And you do understand that you're benefiting from that vote.
Well, I actually,
Well,
yes,
you don't have to answer that.
No.
thank you.
I have a beach locker.
I have a beach locker.
And
Yeah.
it's, your point is taken. Is there anything else, that you care to ask or comment on?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Glenn? Read her last name.
Thomas J. Colan, 612 Third Avenue. I do have a question for Mr. Doherty. You mentioned Main Street on the engineering list. Is that for new sewers?
No. The Main Street is streetscape.
Streetscape, okay.
Curbs, sidewalks, lighting, trees, benches.
Project we've been talking about for years, we got $1 million grant for
Yeah,
it.
but, okay, but it's not necessarily, I mean, because I just wanted to talk about the sidewalks, because over the years, there's been this huge thing about, oh, we gotta rip up the pavers, they look terrible. Well, I got a certified mail violation from the borough to fix my sidewalks, which should have been fixed. So $1,250 later, they're fixed, and the day my guy came, he did bids for 3 or 4 other people on Main Street who got the same notice. Apparently, a lot of them went out with a December 19th deadline. And it's amazing how great it looks. There were 6 other squads doing paver repairs on Main Street. And there's nothing wrong with the pavers. So I just want to establish that we're not replacing the pavers. Because
TJ, when we discussed this as a town, we looked into that, we thought about the whole, like, pavers, not pavers.
Sure.
Do something else. I mean, I was on the committee, right, and Diageo was on the committee, and we considered the option of just not replacing the pavers, and he said the cost of the actual brick is like one of the lower parts of the cost of the whole job, so we're gonna replace the pavers. And the other thing he said, pavers made now are not like pavers made 25 years ago, and they actually will last 40 years, whereas the ones from 25 years ago, they weren't told that.
I mean, we gotta keep this out in the public, because. I
I'm
mean,
talking about now.
The pavers cost me $15,000 in 1997. I'm expecting to get 30 to 40 years out of that product. Spring Lakes was done at the same time. Belmar was done at the same time. They're not replacing their pavers. I don't understand why Bradley Beach, to the point. This is maintenance. This is fantastic. These pavers will last a lot longer. Our tree wells were made bigger to accommodate the roots. The pavers are settled down now. If we maintain things, we can get value. That's why I like to drive cars to 200,000 miles by taking care of them. So I think we need to look at the lights are definitely deficient. I'm helping to work with the BBBCA on the benches. That'll be fantastic. We can get that done privately. So, but I really have a bug about the pavers. There's really nothing wrong with them if they're maintained. And I want to compliment the code office for writing the violations, because they should have been written a long time ago. But I guess everybody's been waiting to get the new pavers, Mr. Berman. You know, that's probably what's going on, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And it's gonna be a very big expense. It's gonna be very disruptive to the businesses for whatever term that is. And some of the designs that they did, I did a walk around with a member of the BBBCA who went to multiple towns. Manasquan did pavers with concrete on each side, and that's what we were pitched. And the concrete has not settled at the same level. There's trip hazards all over the place. So the pavers here, if we repair these trip hazards, like should have been done a long time ago, we can get a lot more advantage from this product. And I am gonna miss having these conversations with you, Mr. Weber. I really, but it's been a lot of fun to watch you handle yourself up there so well. And I wanna, wish you more joy on college trips and other fun things with your children. Because that's what you should be doing. But thank you. You've made an imprint, and it's your imprint will go forward. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And Mr. Cohen, just for the record, you mentioned the paperwork and your own notice. For the residents, I guess I want to draw a little dividing line. One side of that line is we are enforcing through code enforcement repair of pavers that are trip hazards. And 16 properties have already completed their repair, and another 70, give or take, have been noticed that they need to repair them. So we are repairing pavers up and down Main Street. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are or are not going to ultimately replace pavers, because our engineers are doing an evaluation, a study of ADA compliance and the leveling of our sidewalks. So for example, after we do some of this work, some of these repair jobs, we may need to dig it all up again and make them ADA compliant, our actual sidewalks. Some of them don't abut to doorways appropriately and so forth. We're waiting to hear to get the engineer's report. We don't know, but we may have to pull up pavers that are being repaired currently. The choice was, do we wait and allow people to trip and get injured while we wait for the engineering report and while we wait for the funding and so forth to do the ultimate enhancements on Main Street? And my decision was, no, we don't wait. We get people fixing pavers that are trip hazards today. So I just wanted to distinguish for you the fact that because you and others are fixing your pavers doesn't mean they're going to be in place a year from now or 2 years from now.
Well, I mean, in my mind, in 2037, you should look to change these pavers.
I understand.
But I mean, again, Bradley Beach in 1997 apparently got faulty work done. If this is a problem now, I mean, we don't seem to ever get the true value of the things we're doing, and that's what upsets me. This program of having these pavers repaired is fantastic. The full-time code officer's doing a great job, obviously with the snow and the parking and this also. It should be done. And really, the simple part is you asked and people are doing it. I mean, the town doesn't have to absorb the cost of this.
But you're getting into future design, which we don't know yet. So I just wanted the record to show that we're not agreeing that because you or anyone else on Main Street repairs your pavers, those pavers will now remain for another 10 years. I don't know that answer.
Okay.
I want to be clear.
Okay. But thank you for the program and thanks for, it does look better and little maintenance things that we do, improve it. The benches, I hope the 1.4 million will go to the lighting. The lighting absolutely needs to be replaced. The technology's gone so far and I'm hoping that would be the next thing.
And understand that the 1.4 million is basically for a phase of Main Street. We're not gonna complete all of Main Street with 1.4 million, so we have a lot of work ahead of us, including design and, as you say, delivery.
Okay,
But
thank you, Mayor.
I see no other hands. Any hand? No. Seeing no further comments, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank
Aye.
you. Merry Christmas.
Perfect. And 11 years.